Led by a lifelong interest in healing, Dr. Linda Salvin pursued an advanced degree in epidemiology. Then, after dramatic near-death experiences, Dr. Linda saw the other side and returned with gifts of insight, visions, and revealed wisdom. Now those gifts are ongoing, and she's here to share them with you. Get ready to be amazed. It's time for Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions podcast with America's original radio psychic, Dr. Linda Salvin, offering up her always fascinating blend of psychic psychology, clairvoyant insights, and expert guests and alternative healing methods. So pull up a chair and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hello, I'm Dr. Linda Salvin. I'm I'm a PH and a PhD in metaphysics, a psychic healer and a medium, and your host on Psychic Solutions podcast, wherever you find me on YouTube and Facebook and all the hundreds of platforms out there. I had a guest coming on. They didn't make it. So our producer, Rebel, say hello, is going to chime in with me. And we're going to talk about spirituality, metaphysics, psychic abilities. I don't want to get into what's going on in the political atmosphere, but I do have an opinion. If you'd like to call in, there is a phone number, and I would love for you to call and talk to me. That phone number is 561 something. It'll show in a moment. I don't have it in front of me. But for those that have been following the show for so long, I really am grateful, and I appreciate your continued support and interest in metaphysics. A lot of people don't believe in metaphysics. A lot of people don't even know if it's a real word. It is. It's been around since Socrates. Metaphysics became more popular with Dr. Carl Jung in the early 1900s. Carl Jung was a student of Dr. Freud, and Dr. Jung became a psychiatrist as well, but he is the one that really discovered and put together the synchronicity of events. So with synchronicity, you see, like, you show up at a mall and you run into somebody you haven't seen in 6 months, or you see a little butterfly floating around and you just had a thought in your mind about a certain song and it plays on the radio, or you have a feeling of somebody you haven't seen or spoken to and they call. Is it odd? Is it God? How does it work? Why did a friend of mine go to work the other day she works in a bookstore. Yes, there still are a few. And a child brought a book that this woman used to read when she was a child and said it was her dad's favorite book. Well, it turned out it was her father's ethereal birthday, who had passed away many years ago. So it was kind of like saying your dad's spirit is here around you. So metaphysics is about spirituality. Metaphysics is what really makes the world work, but most people don't want to see it. Most people live in 3D, 3D. We live in, let's pay our bills, let's go get a new car, let's build a beautiful home. Let's not really care how it works out there. Here's the phone number. If you would like to call in, 561-623-9421. I would love some phone calls because I am a talk show host. This particular network doesn't have a lot of activity on the phones. It's more texting and messaging, which is okay. Pop up, go to the chat session. I'm here. The metaphysics of life brings people, places, things together. We all make mistakes. We all make decisions that in retrospect, sometimes we regret, sometimes we're grateful, sometimes we wish we could do it again. Sometimes we have a feeling like we've done it before. That's deja vu. When you feel like you've been there before, you stand someplace and it's like, this is familiar. I had that experience when I was in Rome in 1977. I was on my way to outside the Colosseum and on my way to the fountain. I've been here, but I was only 23 back then. And I did not know about past lives and the energy and the soul evolution and all of that stuff we talk about in metaphysics. But in retrospect, of course, through the years of practice and helping people and teaching and reading and researching, I understand. My soul had been in Italy how many eons and decades and millennia ago? Who knows? Rebel, you there in Louisiana while I'm out here in California?
I am.
How you doing?
Oh, it's been.
Well, we're pre-retrograde, as you know. I will have to look up the exact date that the retrograde starts because we're in the shadow. We just had a full moon. So there's a lot of crazy energy politically, emotionally, financially. education-wise, relationship-wise, everything's unpredictable. But you're there in your studio, I'm here in my studio, and all that's real is right now. Somehow we're still here, we're alive, we're well, we think we're well, and we're here to continue the journey as to wherever we're going. But nothing happens by accident, as you know. Like, you might be a little too smart for some people, so they push you away. Or I contacted somebody thinking they were going to continue to explain a trip and talk about some magnificent things that happened, but I really got the cold shoulder. I thought, thanks, this is the end of that friendship, I can tell. So I said, I'll take the closure. I get it. You know, some things die and other things bloom, and in between you just plant that garden and keep going with the seeds. What new beginnings are you looking at in your world? What are you seeing as far as closure, a hallway, and opening? Because we're always in a hallway to something. What's going on with you?
Well, right now I'm in the process of, I guess the best word is deleting things from my life. Unnecessary things are going to be deleted. Things that are toxic. And
people, places, and things.
Right, exactly. And it's time to revamp things. It's time to let go of what's dragging down and move forward on things, and making sure that road is clear on moving forward, because you'll come to a fork in the road most of the time and you have to make decisions. But when you're dragging all of that excess negative baggage with you, it's harder to pick a road to be on, and it's harder to see which road is going to be the one for you. So
Correct.
Right now I'm in the process of eliminating the
negative
energy suckers.
Yeah. You know, we have people that drag us down that we think they're really our friends, or we have projects that we're working on that you realize aren't as important as other things might take precedence. Or we have opportunities for jobs, and we think, well, do I want that road or this way? Should I sign with this company? Should I take a job over here? Should I quit this? Should I start that? You know, life is full of choice. We don't have to stay stuck on one thing. I was talking Charlotte Cosa, who's co-hosted my show in the past and who's been a guest here with her paranormal activities. I did a show with her last night on her channel called regarding generational curses. And with the generational curses, we talk about what's holding us back. Does it come from, you know, decades past of 8 or 9 generations that somebody in the family may have cursed future generations of the male or female offspring? And it's the same kind of thing. You've got this heavy cloak. It feels like a heavy energy or a coat, and you just want to take it off. It's like that caterpillar struggling to get out of its own cocoon to become that butterfly. And we go through these cleanses often. The people that don't know how to do that are the ones that are often more stuck, or have more disease, or have more discomfort, or have more disdainment in their life. You know, you're lucky because you're open, you're aware. Plus, managing and producing all these shows, you've heard people talk forever on growth, spirituality, opportunity, psychology, whatever. So you're open-minded to begin with. And when it starts to become a burden for ourselves, you got to take action. Otherwise, like they say, what you resist persists. It goes around and around and around as a little theme, and it gets uncomfortable. Just like me writing this person the other day who I've known 37 years. Not super close, but we've gone through a lot of life and challenges and divorces or relationships or surgeries, you know, life. But I had a feeling something wasn't quite equal. So I wrote her a letter. She wrote back, and I could just feel this door. So I said, okay, see ya, good luck. You know, and then I called someone else today, and, you know, doors open when one closes. It's a given. So by you kind of weeding your own garden right now, Rebel, you're making room for something bigger. And it'll fill you up with better choices, people, or opportunity. And that's
I'm
what
definitely
you're
trying.
It's hard. It's hard. It's a
because
process.
There's so much, like you said, most of the time people get stuck in this have tos. You have to go to work. You have to do this. You have to. Well, everybody made that choice to have to do that. What you have to understand, and that's what you have to do, is realize that you're not, you know, why do you do this? And you'll figure out, most people say, well, because everybody does it. Well, if everybody jumps off a bridge, I'm not jumping. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not doing this because everybody does it. I mean, I don't know the exact way to do it because I'm clearly not doing it right. But when I figure it out, each little step of the way makes it easier. Like I said, getting rid of that extra baggage you're dragging around is part of the process. But you need to realize it's baggage that you're dragging around
that you don't need. You don't need. It's whether it's a material item or an emotional item or a mental thing, or it's people or it's jobs. Yes, you're correct. Even certain relationships in your own family can bring you down, bring us down. There's times I'll struggle with one of my sisters and it drives me crazy because I love her to death, but then there's times I need my space. That's normal. Same thing with me with the boyfriend. It's like, okay, this is great. Okay, I need to back up. I need to breathe here. This is a little too much for me. We can become overly dependent, underly dependent. We can be smothered. We can get set free. But when we have baggage like you're talking about, whether it's material or if it's emotional, yes, we have to lighten up. That's why it's called enlightenment. You don't have to just sit in lotus position and pray and meditate to become enlightened. By taking action and cleaning out the closets, books, old papers, gifts that were given that you really don't need. I'm letting go of a butterfly somebody gave me, I don't know, 24 years ago, maybe. It's beautiful, and I'm thinking I'm going to donate it. Well, maybe I shouldn't. Well, maybe I should keep it. Well, I remember who gave it to me. Do I really need it? So you go back and forth, but how long can it keep everything, right? So by letting go, it makes room for something else. And somebody once said, when you buy new clothes, get rid of, if you buy 5 shirts or 5 dresses or 5 pairs of shoes, get rid of 5 items so you can let go of the old to bring in the new and keep it balanced. And I think that's what you're going through. Now, I've been working with Rebel almost a year, folks. So I know personally off the air, a couple of the things her challenges are. I think you've come a long way, Rebel. You've done so much. And I'm getting chills. You should be proud of yourself, The opportunities that are coming are huge. And I think once you finish that school thing, your degree, you're going to be well into your passion and you're going to help a lot of people. You are?
I hope so. I really do. I hope that now there's been question about the path that I'm on. It's like, because when you stop and look at the amount of time it's going to take and the amount of money, and it's like, wow, what exactly am I doing? And am I doing it for, because ideally attorneys are thought to make money.
They don't. A lot of people I speak to are attorneys, and I was shocked to hear their disappointment in the financial realm. Yes, if you're a partner and you're in one of the top Fortune 500 kind of firms and they're so happy and they make millions on cases, yeah, but the average, they're not. They're not making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They're not, or millions. A lot do not.
Exactly. And I can see where there's probably good money in litigation for workman's comp and wrongful injury, whatever. That's not the type of attorney that I'm studying to be. What I'm working on is trial law, and it's not going to make money, but my point is to change the things that are wrong, because I can see it all around everywhere, the injustice in America, and I want to change that. There's some pretty stupid laws on the books that need to change.
You're correct, and you're not the first who wants to get out there to change the world. Like, when we're young and idealistic, we all have an idea, like the hippies, let's bring peace on the planet. Well, now we're trying to get peace again, but there's more war and there's more disassociation. And there's more of a split than ever, right? Whether it's religious or racial or communal, who knows? We're always trying to bring justice. And every now and then, someone like yourself will come through that crack and get through all the morass and shine the light. And I believe you will. You have plenty of time ahead of you to do something. You'll make a mark. I still think, and I may have said this to you once before, I believe you're going to end up in Washington somewhere down the line. I think you're going to be more of a lobbyist kind of attorney, and you can get into litigation law, which is what you want to do, and fight for the good. But I also think you're going to have a voice, Rebel, down the road, 10 years from now, wherever I am. If I'm still alive, you can find me and tell me, hey, I was right, because this is where I am now. You'll be somewhere in the DC area working. You will. I don't see you in Louisiana the whole time. No, you got some bigger fish to fry, girl. You do. You're just not there yet. The hard part's getting through school.
Yes, that is most definitely it.
We have a phone call coming in?
Station line.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Dr. Linda Salvin. I'm a psychic healer and a medium. I became psychic in a plane crash. Tomorrow's episode, by the way, is going to be with Mr. Mike McVeigh. Now, I survived a plane crash in 1981. He avoided a plane crash in the 90s. Wait till you hear our stories where a plane crash survivor meets the plane crash avoider. You're going to want to check out that episode later. Now, let's go back to metaphysics. Metaphysics is the combination of spirituality or theology along with psychology. I got into metaphysics long after the accident because I became psychic, did not understand the process I was going through, and then I started helping people, ended up on radio and TV, and my whole world changed because I started trusting the spirit in front of me. I had no clue, nor did I have a desire to pursue this. It found me. It found me. I love helping people. I love educating people. I love turning someone onto the concept of what God is, not religion. No. It's spiritual. When you order my candles, for example, I do candle magic. It's called Wicks of Wisdom. And Wicks of Wisdom work like a prescription for your soul. When you go online and you get an order of candles, you will then get a copy of the History of Candle Power that explains where the candles come from. They're over 3,000 years old. I didn't make it up. And even in Kabbalah one time, I was with my now deceased rabbi, and we were studying the Kabbalah, and there's a whole chapter on candles. I said, Rabbi, he said, yes, Linda, they come from somewhere. So candle magic's been around forever. But what I have done is taken theory between Santeria and Kabbalah, combined it, and made Wicks of Wisdom to help you increase your finances, your love life, your health, your wellness. Your legal problems can be solved, and often your cases can be won. And you've seen or heard people on the show through this past year where I've had my clients come on and testify that they burned a ton of candles and they didn't go to jail. It's all on YouTube. It's all through my website. It's all on drlindaradio.com. Whatever you want, it's out there. If you don't believe me, email me at drlinda@lindasalvin.com, and I will explain it to you. Or just go to lindasalvin.com. There you go. These are candles I'm burning for some clients of mine that are in Portugal. One's a pilot who can't do his own candles. Another's local here who's always traveling. But these candle sets are sent to you, and I teach you how to add the oils, herbs, and powders, and then you add the petitions. There's a process. It's alchemy. You're the chemist. You're the alchemist. You're the witch, or you're the magician. These black and red ones are often for good luck power, money and success power, shut up power, rebound power. Each candle color has its own purpose, just like the oils, which I have here. They come in different colors because they're different properties. One might be shut up, one might be legal, one might be an attraction. You don't know what the candle color, the oil colors are, but it's like baking. If you've got banana bread, chocolate chip cookies, and angel food cake, you've got 3 recipes. They've all got similar ingredients, and some have independent ingredients, but at the end you have a dessert. With me, with Wicks of Wisdom, which is on lindasalvin.com, you have candle magic. It works at least 80% of the time, 85% of the time. Go online, read the testimonies. You will get a copy of the PDF file. We don't print anymore because those days are gone. And you will understand what it is that I do. I do this in conjunction with your purpose. So let's say Rebel needed help in passing some of her exams in her law school classes. So she might want to do the good luck and the money and success power to remove the blocks, obstacles, negativity, fears, insecurities, and whatever might be happening as far as not getting through some of that legalese. I give you a lot of credit because those little words, those big words are hard to understand and get the theory of what goes on in law. It's bad enough when I was in medicine and public health. It's like some of the words, they're Latin and I couldn't figure it out. But I got through it, when now by helping people with money, love, or whatever. Again, let's show those pictures in the shower. Yes, it's dirty because of all the carbon that's exposed. But I burn the candles. The middle tray, for example, is a gal in 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's a girl in Europe who I do her work because it's cheaper for me to burn them here. Do the work for her, whether it's love, her health, the headaches, protection. She has harmony in there. She's got good luck in there, and she's got love life in there. And she feels it from Los Angeles in Europe. She feels the results. You don't have to be doing it yourself. That's the magic. That's the power. That's the energy. That's the alchemy of Wicks of Wisdom. It's candle magic, people. That's after I have put the herbs, oils, and powders in, which is called dressing. Then there's a petition, which is this round piece of paper, and I teach you how to fill it out in pencil, and it gets burned in that flame, and that's what that photo shows. But the magic is there, and a lot of people get impatient, but then once they start seeing the results, they come back for more. I've been doing this since 1999 when Wicks of Wisdom was born on a radio show back in those days. And we coined the term like a prescription for your soul. So if you want help, you want a bridge, you want to knock things down, you want to shut someone up, you want the engagement, you want passion, you want protection, you want to stop someone from backstabbing you, candles work, let me know. So I got off track, but it's all part of metaphysics. It's all part of how I grew my brand as a psychic, and then I evolved into the candles to make it easier for you to enjoy and have the best experience for your life. Get rid of the garbage and the baggage like we started talking about a few moments ago. So come back, Rebel, with that baggage. It's just like with the candles. I can help remove it spiritually. A lot of times we can get people to go away, we can bring people in, or like physically taking the book off the shelf and donating it, or taking a art piece and selling it, or taking old sunglasses and, you know, listing it on all these websites today. There's so many ways to release physical baggage, but a lot of it is our emotional and spiritual baggage. And I don't know that everybody gets that. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
That's true. And part of selling it or donating it is actually good for your karma, so to speak, because you're passing along something that is reusable, and it's actually, in my opinion, good props for you. You know, it's getting rid of that negative that's negative for you, but might be a positive for someone else.
Perfect example. That's exactly right. My mom, well, she died 15 and a half years ago, but when I was little, she was a sewer. She knit. She made all our Barbie doll clothes. I mean, those little tiny snaps were like this big. She'd stay up all night making a little tiny dress for our 3 dolls. But she knit this beautiful melon color mohair sweater for me in 8th grade, and it had a little dicky because that's what the style was back then. And I kept this sweater in a trunk all these years. So I must have been, 10, 12 back then, but I was probably in my late 60s when I said, how much longer am I going to hold on to this? And this little voice, which I choose to call my mother, spoke up, said, donate it and let someone else enjoy it. Duh. I had to let go. I miss it. I think about that sweater, my mother's energy. It was my sweater, but I couldn't keep it. I have no one to donate my belongings to or have anybody inherit when I go. Let some other child or adult wear that sweater. So I donated it somewhere out there. Someone has a handmade sweater. And God bless them. Even though it was hard to let go, I know that it was for the highest good of someone else. You're exactly right, because we are giving something we loved to someone else. It's just like when people are selling a house. A lot of times people come to me, oh, I got to get the house. I got to sell. I got to get the equity. I need the money, blah, blah, blah. But it's not selling. The house isn't selling. We'll do some candles. The candles didn't work. No, they're working, but you're not saying it properly in the petition. Or you're not saying it to me or the people around you. What you want to do is you want the right buyer who will appreciate the home as you have to come and purchase your home, as opposed to, I need the money. Yes, we need the money. Or you want a new location or whatever. But it's the way you present it that will bring in the more positive result, as opposed to the friction that we can often experience.
That's
Are
so
you
true.
letting?
Very
Yeah,
true.
yeah, it is. It's even though it's hard and we want to bash everything and have attitude, because I've got attitude and you know it. But when it comes to really getting the work done, you got to switch and flip it and really make it work in the lane that you're being driven in. You know, we're not. I don't think we're in control. I think we have free will. I believe we can do whatever we want out there, but there's a price to pay. If you're going to hang out in bars and get drunk all the time and sleep around with a ton of people, you're probably going to get an infection. You're not going to experience love. You're going to wonder why they don't love you, male or female, because I know on both sides what people have gone through, myself included, with superficial relationships. You know, if you really want a commitment, you got to talk, you got to communicate, you got to spend time together, you got to work at it rather than run from it. Or if you really, really want something bad enough, then you're going to work for it. You're going to put your heart and soul to save the money to go make it happen. What are the priorities? Sometimes we can't do everything alone. We think we can, but we can't. But when it comes to that baggage and it comes to letting go and ascending, you got to find your priority. But again, is it odd or is it God? Let go, let God. You hear that all the time. What does that mean? What does it mean? Let the universe guide you. Okay, I was guided to a certain business opportunity and I chose something. Unfortunately, it did not turn out the way I had hoped. And as a business owner, I had to eat the failure and the loss. But I learned. And that's what it is. You learn. But then you try to find where you belong next to fix it or get it done or to change it or to break up. I had a client this morning who's involved with somebody. She's not married, but been with the guy over almost 20 years. They live together, got kids. Then she's also involved with a married man. And she wants to know about her love life. And I said, well, I don't really feel love around you. Like she says, well, there's a trilogy. And I got into all of it. You got to let go of this. He's not going to leave his wife. And then eventually you're going to do this. And eventually when you get out, you'll be on the other side of all of it. And then you'll be able to open doors. But it's not going to happen. Like you're not going to go out and meet Mr. Right when you got one living in the house and one who's married that you see every couple of months. It doesn't work that way, people. Just like if you're married, but you're getting divorced. And Rebel's heard these calls before because I've done it so long. And someone's going to say, when am I going to meet someone? Or does he really love me? Or is he going to leave his wife for me? Or is she going to leave her husband for me? No.
You'd have to wonder why people want that. You know, does anybody stop and think, like, you're asking this man to leave his wife for you? Well, what happens when the next you comes around and you're the wife now and he's going to leave you for her? Why would you want that?
That's exactly right. Or a lot of the times they do leave. So let's just say Dave and Sue. I'm just making names up. So Dave leaves his wife, Peggy, for Sue. Peggy Sue, that's cute. And all of a sudden, he does not trust Sue. Why doesn't he trust her? Because he remembers she screwed around on him while he was married. How is he going to trust that she's not going to hurt him with someone else? Same thing you're saying. That's exactly true. Or karmically, if you're in a relationship, oh, but I don't love him or we're getting divorced, that's fine. Well, how come he's not doing more for me? Well, spiritually and legally, here comes where Rebel is, you're still married by law. There's a spiritual law out there and there's the physical law where you have the decree of the paperwork to show that you have a license, you're married. And until you are legally divorced and spiritually divorced, nothing's going to happen. I don't care if you're with somebody for 25 years, like Catherine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy. They had the biggest love affair in Hollywood, but he'd never leave his wife. She suffered in love with a man that never left his wife for her. It happens all the time. But there's legal law, spiritual law, there's physical law, rather, and spiritual law. So until both are clear, whoever it is with, it's not going to unfold. Or you've got the people, the guys tell me a lot, oh, I'm not going to get involved with this girl, Peggy or Margaret or whatever. She's still attached. How do I know she's not going to stay with her husband? Or how do I know she really wants me? So these people have boundaries and your relationship only goes so far without the commitment. Then people call me, well, how come you won't commit? Well, you're still married. Well, yeah, but I'm not in love. You're not available. You may think you're available, but until you're really available, you're not available. You're having sex, you've got partnership. I'm not saying there's no caring, there's no emotions, there's no wonderful orgasms or whatever's going on, right? But the bottom line is they're not available, emotionally and spiritually available, or physically. Or how many times have you heard on the show or with people, Rebel, like, oh, I'm having an affair. I know he loves me. Well, what did he do for your birthday? What did he do on Valentine's Day? What did he give you at Christmas? Hanukkah? Nothing.
I know, right?
The three major holidays, you would think they love us and they give us something. No. If you can't get a teddy bear or a bottle of perfume or a box of chocolate or a tuna fish sandwich or something, there's no emotion that really matters because you weren't important enough to spend money to give a gift of appreciation, right? And that hurts.
That in time. I mean, how many times are they going to go for the wife or the family before they go for you? Mm-hmm. If you're settled for that, then hey, all power to you. If that is your life, that you expect nothing more than the crumbs you get, well, then you're happy. But if you're expecting more, and the fact that he has a wife and a family and everything else should know that you are not top man on the totem pole, because you are not.
No, we're a woman. No, we're not. Al, why didn't he call? Well, why can't you come over? Well, it's my son's birthday. Well, it's our anniversary. All my wife's sister's getting married. Well, what about me? You're just a piece of something on the side. I don't want to start swearing on the show today, but you're important enough to get a fix, but you're not important enough to be respected. Okay, people. And a lot of people start to wake up when they realize they're in this affair and it's not going anywhere. It's like, yeah, 4 years is long enough. Okay, 5 years is long enough. 15 years is long enough. And you will heal. You will get out of it. But ask yourself why you think that's all you deserve.
Most people are not going to think about that. They're just going to see, like, right when you're getting into the relationship, you see all the love and the joy and all this false flags through rose-colored glasses.
Exactly, till you hit bottom, then the reality hits.
Exactly. And then you come to terms with, oh, well, this is how it is. And as the relationship goes on, and then later in the end, closer to the end of the relationship, you're going to realize, like, wait a minute, I want more. But the more you want, it's not coming from that person because they're never going to leave.
No, and they're going to withdraw or they pull back. Well, I haven't talked to him in a few weeks. How come he disappeared? Well, he's pulling back. He's feeling emotions. I got to make stuff up to let them know, like, hey, you're not it. You're not it. Guys are easy to read. They either do or don't. It's us, females. We're emotional. We're obsessive. I mean, guys obsess. Trust me, they obsess. I hear it all the time from both sides. But men have a different ability to compartmentalize and not feel it as much. Whereas with us, we wear our emotions on our sleeves and we want this and we want that. And a lot of them just go back to work and chalk it up as experience. They'll call, they'll show up if they really want to. But if you're looking for that relationship versus the baggage that Rebel was mentioning, figure out where you stand in the lane I was talking about spiritually. What is your universal God trying to show you? Is it just that? Are you hurting? Do you want more? Is it enough to have somebody once a week, once a month, as opposed to daily, or somebody that loves you and goes through challenges, whether you have been burglarized or if you're sick or if you're achieving something at work or your health has improved after a challenge or there's a death in the family? Who's really there for you? That's where it comes into being important.
Very true. Then you also got to worry about that one guy that I'm going to talk about. This one guy who like to play whomever he can play to see who he can get the most out of. Like,
true.
Like, dude, you should have been a girl. I don't know what you're talking about. You were a gigolo, I think they call him. He was in so many people's, business. It's like,
can I get the money? Yeah, can you get the money? Can you take me to dinner? I really need, I don't need this, but I need that. Can you give me a loan or can I go with you? The gigolos most of the time will get what they can from the women. And a lot of lonely, wealthy, horny, passionate, needy women will pay for services. Just like men pay for the prostitutes, will pay for a gigolo. But in the end, the prostitute leaves, the gigolo leaves, and you're still stuck with you, us, ourselves. So it's a moment's pleasure and a lot of cheating or whatever. I don't judge. I don't care what you do. You got to live with you, right? But if you want to live a more spiritual life, I'm not talking religion. I'm talking spirit. Butterflies, stars, moons, the fish at the sea, the birds that sing outside your window, the snow that falls in the winter. Where does all that come from? That's the spirit of connecting to the planet. Our problems are dealing with people, places, and things. What are some of the things you're actually letting go of? Are you talking more people and closing doors? Are you actually releasing physical items, or are you doing
everything? Everything. I am trying to downsize things, because the more I looked around, it's like, wow, I have all this stuff, but none of it's actually what I want. Like, I designed specific outfits for me to wear, but I don't make them. Okay, I deal with the clothes. I looked at my closet. I'm like, I have all of this stuff that I don't wear. I'd like to wear it, maybe sometime if the right opportunity, but these are opportunistic clothes. This has to be, a sunshiny day, and this has to be this, and everything in my closet either doesn't match, doesn't suit me anymore, and it's nothing that I actually want to wear.
Yeah, maybe you've outgrown it, but the hard part's getting it off the hanger, off the rack, into a bag, and then calling somebody or taking it to a drop-off place and donate or sell. And it's hard. It's that letting go, because we become attached to our material things. Just like I'm talking about that butterfly that's sitting in the bag to go out on Thursday. I'm like, but do I really want to let this go? Those people gave it to me 20 years ago on my birthday. But okay, it's a purple butterfly. You need a butterfly? I can give another butterfly. I have tons of butterflies. How many do I need? I've outgrown 30 years of butterflies. Well, maybe I should keep it because it's sentimental. Well, so is every book and every article of clothing, right? Same thing you're going through. It's taking the action, Rebel, and it's same with me. Just like with the sweater my mom made, I can remember certain things like, oh God. But then you think about life. If you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, how long are you going to hold on to all this stuff? How much have we purchased? How much have we donated and gotten rid of? How much have we replaced? How many sizes have we gone up and down? Things change, times change, our emotions change, your needs change. Something you wore 20 years ago is probably not who you are today.
True, very true. Well, maybe. Yes, sort of.
I'm not saying everything. I'm not saying everything.
I'm just some of them I'd like to hang on to. No, but it's funny you say that about things that people have given you. I actually have it written in my will to, like, these things go to this person and this person. And everybody's like, well, why do you even have that? I said, because this is something that it's already going to be donated. What they do with it is beyond their business, but what they get it, and hopefully they'll appreciate it as much as I kept on to it. Like, I have things that are just so sentimental with exes that, like, when I die, okay, this goes to this one goes to this one.
I still have the first ID bracelet I got when I was 14 when I went to stay with my first boyfriend. What am I going to do with it? He died 14 years ago, and he's had 2 marriages, and he's got kids out there. But we kept in touch probably till our 40s or 50s, maybe, on and off through the years. But he's gone. But I still have the bracelet. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. It's got his name on it and an engravement that says, love forever and always.
Pass it along to one of his children. It'd be a talking point.
Yeah, I can mail it to Berkeley, California if I could find him. Say this was your dad. So that might be kind of interesting. What a good idea. You never know what can happen. Maybe
part of Dad's history they may or may not know about, and if they do know about it, then hey, look,
And if they don't know about it,
dad this much to have.
Wow. What a great idea. Maybe I should send it back. I know he owns a restaurant in Northern California. Maybe I should look him up and say, you may or may not know, but this was your father's from his bar mitzvah.
See, that would be cool. That would be something.
What a great idea.
Yeah, it might be passed along from his kid to the kid's kid. That bracelet might go centuries down, to people, because, hey, you never know what people are going to put a value on.
That's true. His father was killed when he was young. His sister was killed when she was young. The mother died. Then he died. So it was a sad story all along. And I do know he had one son. I believe the ex-wife is in Southern California, down near San Diego, and I believe the son owns a restaurant up near Berkeley. So maybe what a great idea. Why not?
I think the son would appreciate it. I don't think the ex-wife would, but
No, I don't think so.
Son
but
would
the son
definitely.
might, and then if the son gets married or has kids, say, well, this was your grandfather's or this was my dad's. Brilliant. I'm going to look it up. You just gave me something to think about. Wow. I just got chills because I don't need it. I experienced it. I was young, a little too young. Even my mom, I can remember saying, he's not for you. So, of course, I did it. And I hung out with him for like a year and a half thinking, oh, my God. But we stayed friends all those years through college, grad school, degrees, his marriages, his divorces, his heart attack. And I looked him up one time, found out he died. So it's okay, life. But I don't need the bracelet. You're right. That's what this show was all letting go. Thank you. Letting go. That's what I'm going to call metaphysical and let go. So we'll just change it later. It's hard to let go. It really is, because we do have this emotional thing. An attachment. Like you said, we've got memory, we have passion, we have our what's meaningful to us or you may not to the next person. But you're right. Like if I were to donate the sweater, yes, somebody will have taken it for their child because it was small. But for the bracelet, something like that, no, I'm not going to donate it or pass it on. I will give it back to where it originated. And it's the same type of attachment you have with these clothes or some of the exes with their gifts. I got rid of most everything my exes gave me. I didn't want the energy. I didn't want the memory because I've got it in my mind or in my heart or in photographs, but I didn't need the physical candlestick or the perfume or whatever it was, the teddy bears. I do have a few teddy bears, I should say. I did keep a few. I did get rid of a couple of the stuffed animals from Disneyland from grad night or whatever. So some of them I did let go through the years, but it's hard because we become attached, but we don't have to hoard. And we can give somebody else the joy of our own experience. You're so right, Rebel. You're so right. But it's hard. So I have a prediction, and tomorrow or the next day we can talk about it. I think you're going to find 5 items today or tomorrow by the end of the week that you're going to finally detach the emotional synchronicity to and say, okay, it'll go in the bag, or I can put it in the box, or I can finally say goodbye. You can, just like I am with this butterfly. I don't need the butterfly. I think you're going to find that we can emotionally detach from some of the memories and some of the passion. And we all have this thing in us. It's like when my mom died, my dad couldn't wait to move out of the house. It was too much of all his memories, even though half of the house is in where he lives now. But I guess living in that same environment was too overwhelming 15 years ago because we get so attached, Wow. What else you want to say? Is we about ready to close the show in about 5 minutes, right? So what an interesting way of bridging, letting go with metaphysics, because again, it's all energy. Our emotions, our memories, our attachments, it's all energy, right?
Most definitely. We have to hang on to what we know and let go of what doesn't serve us. It's just a have to do, because what's not serving you might serve someone else. And you just need to learn that that's not your baggage to travel with anymore.
Nope. Get a new suitcase. Fill up with new things. Just start letting go. I'm looking at my bookshelves behind me. There's one in front of me. And it's like, I've already gotten rid of all my college books. I thought I would never get rid of all the medical books and health and wellness books or English books or whatever I studied, 6, 8, 9 years of college. I still have my PhD stuff. But the actual books from the University of Michigan, my master's, they're all gone. They're all gone. I have a French book my 9th grade teacher gave me because she liked the way I dressed and she knew I knew French. And I kept that book. But the school books, I didn't need them. I miss them sometimes because it became part of my identity. But I am still that educated person. I don't remember half of what I studied, but I have things that I kept from school, just like with you. There's certain things you hold on to, and someday somebody will throw it away, or they can think, oh, what a great masterpiece this article was or this report in school. You do all the work.
But let me tell everybody, before you get rid of things, especially if it's old stuffed animals or old books or anything, check the prices. They might be worth money.
Yeah, especially on today's day and age of the internet, you can sell things on all the different platforms where you can get some money back for something. I bet you I gave away some of the Disney stuffed animals years ago, about I don't remember if it was before I moved in where I am now 7 years ago or when I moved 20 years ago and bought the house. I don't remember when I let it go, but I'll bet some of those old Pooh Bears and whatever the animals were, they're probably pricey today because they were the originals. But, that's all part of life, and it's not spilled milk. I can think about it. What am I going to do? Sit and think about a Pooh Bear? They nicknamed me Linny Pooh, so I had a Pooh Bear, but I let go. But you reminded me of that. But I survived without it. And it's the same thing with you. You'll survive with some of the clothes that you're going to let go of, or some of the guys, or some of the artifacts, and some of the emotional attachments. I'm Dr. Linda Salvin. I'm a psychic healer and a medium. And I've been talking to my producer, Rebel, who's in a different state, managing the show all the time. And we just switched our topic because the guest who was invited didn't make it for whatever reason. I'll find out later. And life goes on. You just deal with what you got. If you got lemons, make lemonade. And I said, Rebel, do the show with me, because she didn't show up. And things happen for whatever reason. Final words, Rebel? You're going to clean out something from your closet tonight. I know it.
Thank you. Everybody, look in your closets and see what you can let go of.
Yeah, let's let go of some baggage. People, places, things like I did over the weekend. But I'm going to get that bracelet, and I'm going to mail it to him. You are correct. That would be something. It's like he may not like it, but he may appreciate the sentiment behind it once he sees it. That's mind-blowing. And I hope you had a mind-blowing experience right here on Psychic Solutions today. I am Linda Salvin, and that's Rebel back in Louisiana on the boards. We're going to say goodbye. And if you want information on getting a reading, a healing, candles, like we're talking about the candle magic and how I can change your life with love, money, getting rid of negativity, winning lawsuits, check out my Linda Salvin podcast and all of the shows on my YouTube as well as on my website. It's all there. You don't believe it? You think I'm crazy? You don't believe in psychics? How do you know till you test me? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions podcast. You can reach Dr. Linda at 888-509-1077 or at lindasalvin.com. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.